Good evening everyone, and welcome to the video update for 22nd of February 2016. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying that I'm not in a particularly good place right at the minute, because I've just had to tell people up in Scotland that I've not been able to go up for my granddad's funeral tomorrow, and it kind of affected me a bit more, so if I stumble a bit I do apologise, but I do have a good reason, I think. I meant to do it a lot earlier than now, but I kept putting it off, for reasons that are probably obvious. Okay, so this week, what have we done RPG wise? We've done a fair bit of refinement and sort of converting stuff over, so the progress for this week is pretty much related to the migration of the content to be specifically RPG related, so on. I know I've got a few other people in the chat today, so if you don't mind, don't talk to me during this portion of the update, and I'll talk to you guys in the stream afterwards. Just listen if you don't mind, that'd be great. So we're into the migration of content, so I'll just give you a look at the progress. Crap. Okay, I forgot to change that page. Oh, for God's sake, how unprofessional can you be? Okay, basically progress this week isn't anything to do with that. Colin's done a bit more playtesting and has gone through some of the stats and has kindly separated out the RPG related information from the miniatures game related information, which is quite handy, because it means that we can actually start, or have actually started, separating the stuff in the book, the stuff in the document, the living document, out into separate areas, so we can actually work on making the miniatures rules separate to the RPG rules. And that's pretty much what we've both been up to. I've been finalising some more graphics, getting the white versions, the eco-friendly versions of the cards, ship cards and counters and so on, finalised and brought up to date with the new design for other things. I have also redeveloped the ship record sheet, the vehicle record sheet, to be portrait format rather than landscape format, because I feel that it's a more consistent look for the RPG to have it in portrait format. If Colin would like a separately designed landscape format one, I have no problem with doing that, but we'll see how that goes. I've not actually discussed it with him yet. I only did that last night and finished it off today. So yeah, there we go. So the majority of the things, as I was saying, is the migration of the content to the RPG. So following from last week's progress list that I gave you, the converting ship stats and expanding them to meet the RPG requirements is mostly done. The expanding of the weapons and equipment stats and list is in progress. I haven't made any start on non-space vehicle specifications until I get the ship ones done to the way that I'm happy and that Colin's happy. And we're converting the working document into separate documents suitable for publishing, which, as I said, we have started. And I am starting out a separate document now, which I'm starting from scratch basically. So rather than running it from the shared document that we have, I'm trying to develop it more in the same way that I developed the RPG and the text that's in the RPG, to try and keep that same style, as it were, I suppose is the best word for it. Yeah, so that's that's actually basically it. I haven't really got much else to say on that, because it's all been kind of little bits and pieces, just dotting the T's and crossing the I's. That's the wrong way around, isn't it? I used to do that as a joke. That was actually a legitimate mistake. Sorry. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's, to make sure that we are getting everything ready. I mean, I think the biggest thing we've changed has been the ship stats as far as weapons are concerned, because weapon groups, we've had to lock down the different ways it's going to be done in the RPG, because the RPG needs to list the location, whether it can cover the 360 arc of the ship on one with one ventral or dorsal turret, and how many hard points of a certain size there are on a ship. So that's all now been kindly done by Colin, separating that out into a completely separate document, which I can now use as a starting point for getting the spec cards done for all the for the expanded specs for the ships that goes alongside the cards. The ultimate goal for those, the cards will become part of the posters for each ship, and the additional stats will go alongside those as well, so that there's a quick reference both in the text of the book itself and on the posters for the ships. So yeah, so that's it basically. As far as progress is concerned, that's it. As of this week, we're going to be starting quite a lot more, getting the RPG ready for launch and getting the miniature stuff, the Starship Combat rules as I'm calling them, put into the book and integrated so that we can get it all polished off and finalised. So, working towards that. Upcoming stuff. We are in the middle of Monday Night Mayhem. Tonight is the first official CQC based stream that I'll be doing as part of Frontier's Mayhem CQC program. There's a bit of an additional twist to it tonight as well. We have a bit of a war going on with a certain Mr. Ray, or Mr. Dog, whatever you want to call him, between our two streams this evening. So I hope you'll stand by for that. On the 12th, that's Saturday the 12th of March, we will be having a Pratchett pilgrimage where I'll be taking my second pilot, my second commander, in hopefully a Sidewinder that can make the journey, to Pratchett's Disc, to commemorate the first anniversary of the great man's sad passing from Alzheimer's. I'm not doing it as part of a charity thing this year, I'm just doing it as my personal commemoration of a man who essentially I read through most of my teenage years. And I was quite honoured to be able to read his stuff, because it's very, very good, and you should all read it if you don't know it already. Upcoming events, as I said, we've got Gamers for Mankind. This is Mad Dog and Kate Click getting together and raising money for victims of domestic abuse. I would clarify that would be male victims of domestic abuse, through the Mankind Initiative, which is an awesome charity that's been set up. There was a thing in the news today that another group, Survivor UK or something, is another male-oriented charity that has received a government donation, a quite sizable one, and one of the news reports stated that they were the only charity dealing with male domestic abuse, which I would say is bollocks, because there's the Mankind Initiative, which is a different charity. So half of the reason for doing this, or most of the reason for doing this event on the 13th of March, is to help raise awareness and raise funding. So raise awareness, push it as much as you can, and this is what we need. This is why we need to do this kind of stuff, because obviously people are missing out on this stuff because no one knows about it. So there you go. Elite Meet 2016 is coming up on the 2nd of April in Glasgow. As it says there, I'm still of the opinion that we're not going to make it to it, but we're just seeing what things come. Obviously we've had some sort of hard decisions to make this month as far as financial things and work commitments are concerned, so hence why I'm broadcasting tonight and not in Scotland where I should be. So yeah, that's it. So LaveCon is coming up in July as well, which we will hopefully be at, because that's the one we're actually kind of saving up for, and hopefully we'll be there with the RPG in a state of release, which would be awesome. And that's us done. Next update is next week at the same time, 29th of February, 8 PM UK time. If you have any comments, questions or feedback, then please get them to me by 6 PM next Monday evening, using any of the methods that you see at the bottom of the screen there. Thank you very much for watching, and that's the end of this broadcast. Those of you who are watching, who are waiting for the war to begin, please stand by. I'll be online hopefully by about 1:15. I just need to flip things over. PlayPay, if you're wanting to host that as well, then obviously you'll have to re-host once I go back online. Okay, thank you very much guys, take care and good night.